Welcome back to Live at 5. I'm Sierra McQueen.
And I'm Sarah Beth Jenkins.
Today we have a special guest in studio to help us gain a different perspective on Veterans Day.
Thanks for joining us for tonight's episode, and we'll be right back for tonight's top story.
Brian Land was named the new Richmond County Manager during Tuesday's County Commissioners meeting. Noting that his family has served Richmond County for over 6 generations, Land stressed his allegiance and appreciation for this community. During his tenure with Richmond County, he has overseen countless county construction projects, such as the new Emergency Services Complex, County Administration Building, the upfitting of Cordova Gym and Fields, airport projects, and countless others.
Land worked on the water system, which has had significant upgrades since he came on board, with over $10 million in upgrades and numerous expansions. Land has served as an integral part of the economic development team that recruited RSI, DirectPac, and Viva, and assist with local industry expansions. During the meeting, Land continually expressed how thrilled he was to direct his energy towards any challenges encountered while ensuring the betterment of Richmond County.
Earlier this week, the U.S. House of Representatives unanimously approved Congressman Robert Pettinger's bipartisan financial reform legislation. Congressman Pettinger's Clarifying Commercial Real Estate Loans Act clarifies and improves Obama-era regulations which have created confusion in commercial real estate lending, leading to fewer jobs and slower economic growth. Congressman Pettinger's bipartisan legislation better defines which types of loans must comply with the HVCRE regulations.
Congressman Pettinger will run for re-election in 2018, first in the primary election set for May, when he will run against Republican challenger Dr. Mark Harris of Charlotte. Dr. Harris will be in studio with the Richmond Observer this upcoming Monday for an exclusive interview previewing his campaign into the 2018 election.
Up next, we have Lance Jenkins in studio with Howard Richardson, a local veteran, to talk about his experiences and what Veterans Day means to him. Stay tuned for this special interview after a word from our sponsors.
At Richmond Community College, we prepare you for a high-skill, high-paying career in a variety of fields. From business to education, engineering, utilities, healthcare, criminal justice, information technology, and human services. At Richmond Community College, we can save you thousands of dollars on tuition through our university transfer programs that provide a seamless transition to universities and colleges throughout North Carolina. At Richmond Community College, we are always developing new courses and programs in response to the communities we serve. We offer day, evening, and online courses, and you can now complete 5 curriculum programs entirely online. At Richmond Community College, we believe in helping you prepare for a better life. Richmond Community College. Local college, big impact.
I'm Kelly. I worked at Champion Ford for 2 years.
6 years.
3 years.
1 year.
I've been at Champion Ford for 13 years.
1 whole year. 15 years.
I'm Jamie and I've been at Champion Ford for 12 years.
I've been here 8 years.
Champion prices, champion service, champion experience.
Get treated like a champion today at Champion Ford. Just down the road from our prices, championfordlincoln.com.
We are Champion Ford.
Family Pharmacy has been serving Richmond County since April 2007, and we have enjoyed getting to know our customers since then. We take our jobs very seriously, and will do whatever we can to make sure you have what you need. Come visit us on Fayetteville Road in Rockingham, and we will treat you like family.
McNair Auto Sales is the place to buy your pre-owned car, truck, or van. To be the best, it takes big selection, friendly staff, and great pricing. We guarantee a no-hassle buying experience, and financing is available right on site. So come see us today. We're located at 1026 East Broad Avenue in Rockingham. And remember, with over 40 years of experience, you know McNair is the name you can trust.
With hospice, you guys just outdo yourselves every day. And I really appreciate it. I honest to God don't know what I would do if it weren't for you. The things that you do, I'm in approval of. And thank you. I don't know what else to say other than thank you.
Willow Tree Antiques and Gifts is all about rustic home decor and gifts. You will always find a variety of unique antiques, vintage, and new items in our shop. Come and see our selection of housewarming, new baby, and wedding gifts. For the man in your life, we have many collectibles, Boker knives, and leather. And ladies love the jewelry, purses, candles, hats, and t-shirts. We also offer a 30-day layaway program. Come and experience shopping at Willow Tree Antiques and Gifts.
And welcome back to Live at 5. I'm Lance Jenkins, and in studio today for an exclusive interview as we celebrate Veterans Day this Saturday with one of Richmond County's very own veterans, Mr. Howard Richardson. Mr. Richardson, glad to have you in studio.
Thank you, sir.
Certainly glad to have you, and we certainly appreciate your service in the Army Corps of Engineers. And when did you serve?
From 1959 to 1962.
Okay, yes, and you were on how many tours?
One.
And where did that take you?
Half the world.
Yeah, right.
Across the United States, Hawaii, Tokyo, Japan, Kashina Barracks, Japan, Yokohama, Japan.
Oh, wow.
Incheon, Korea, Ascom City, where actually, if you ever watch the program MASH on television, you've heard of the 121st VAC Hospital.
That's right.
Well, we were stationed right behind the 121st.
How about that? The real one.
The real one.
The real one. How about that?
And we was all over South Korea in a way. Then we came back down to through the Alaskan Aleutian Islands, back to San Francisco, back to the East Coast. I was back in Virginia again, same place I left.
How about that?
And right outside of D.C.
So this took you to Korea.
Right, sir.
And of course, and that's Korea and North and South Korea in the news today.
Yeah.
So what was it like when you were there?
When I was there, South Korea was really messed up. It had not really recuperated from '54 when the war stopped. There was a lot of damage down around Incheon and up north of Seoul. Even the DMZ was where the real damage was done in a way. They would damage other places, but it was worse around the DMZ.
Right, of course. How long were you in Korea?
I was in Korea 13 months.
13 months, so over a year.
Yes, sir.
And of course, you served in the Army Corps of Engineers. And how long were you in the Army?
I was in the Army 3 years, 2 months, and 3 days.
There we go. So not that you're counting or anything. Yeah.
Not that counting, but
yeah.
It was a deal that when the Berlin crisis broke out, President Kennedy extended the armed forces. I was one of the lucky ones. I only got 2 months and 3 days out of it.
Right.
I had a buddy that got a year out of it.
Who was extended?
He had about 3 months longer in service than I did. He ended up getting a year extension out of it.
How about that? So folks, as we celebrate Veterans Day, again, if you're just joining us, we have Howard Richardson, a Richmond County native as well as a veteran in the Army Corps of Engineers, and he's in studio with us today. So let's talk about what Veterans Day means to you as a veteran. I mean, a lot of people, who haven't served, they get off a day from work. They don't understand.
They don't understand.
Tell us what it means to be a veteran.
To me, being a veteran means giving service to the country that I love. And there's an old saying that every veteran wrote a check made out to the United States in the amount up to and including life. If that's not dedication, I don't know what it is.
I agree with you. Of course, we are blessed to have people who've served in the military, including you.
I didn't serve in wartime, but I was there ready if was needed.
And willing.
And willing to go.
And willing to go.
I didn't get drafted. I volunteered for it. I knew what I was getting into, and it was just a situation that I felt like I had an obligation to fulfill.
Fantastic. Well, we appreciate what you've done for the country and among many veterans out there in the United States as we honor veterans this week. And of course, not only did you serve in the military, now you're a published author. And we've got the book right here. It's called My Life Retold by Howard Richardson. And of course, if somebody wanted a copy, how could they get one?
You can order it off of Amazon.
Oh, it's on Amazon.com?
It's on Amazon.
Of course, everybody's familiar with that. And so let's talk about this book. What inspired you to write the book, My Life Retold?
Well, I'll be honest with you, I had never planned on writing a book. And I had back surgery because I was having problems walking. The doctor said, you either have surgery or you'll never walk again. And laying in the bed after I had surgery, he still told me I would never walk. That was on Friday afternoon. Saturday morning, I was up walking. The only thing that brought this about was faith in God. A story in the book called On That Beautiful Morning. I wrote that while I was laying in the bed. I didn't write it, but I brought it into my mind to write. And I did, about a month later, I did put it on paper. I got the original handwritten copy.
How about that?
Where I wrote it. Later, my pastor read it. He said, you need to write a book. I was telling him some of the stories, time I served in the Army. He said, you need to write a book. I said, there ain't no way I can write a book. He said, just write down what you know, what you've been through. That's what this book is basically what's happened in my life since 1957.
How about that? So folks, My Life Retold by Howard Richardson, available on Amazon.com. And as a local author, a local veteran. And I want to actually talk about a story that you shared on RichmondObserver.com early in the Richmond Observer's history. And that is that you attended, and I hope I've got this right, the first, was it American 500?
First American 500
at Rockingham
Speedway.
How about that? So let's talk about that while you're here, if that's okay. Tell us about that experience.
Well, I got wind in the fall of 64, I believe it was, that they were building a racetrack out at Newton's Point. I said, well, I'm going to ride out there and see what's going on. So I rode out, and it was on Sunday afternoon. There was one man out there working, Mr. Billingsley, that built Darlington Speedway. And I got out of the car and walked over to where he was at, introduced myself. Me and him got to talking. He said, come back every Sunday and see how it's going. So about every Sunday, I'd go back out and talk to him and see how things was going. And I believe it was in September, he told me, said, next week we're going to have tickets. He said, you better go in the stands, pick out 2 seats you want, and let me know. So while he was on his dozer working, I went up in the stands, walked through them. I picked out, I never will forget it, was Section P, row 12, seats 1 and 2. I went back and I told him what I wanted. Well, he said, be out here next week and we'll see about having them. I went up about next week. I'd forgot about them really. I started to leave. He said, before you leave, come over to the truck. Went over there and he gave me the 2 tickets. He said, I'm going to give you these. I said, you may never get 2 more free. But that's the way I got the tickets to the first American 500. And I went out. I did take my wife's brother with me. He was about 12 years old. And we enjoyed the first race. Curtis Turner won it. Near about 11 seconds, I think it was the separation.
Right.
He didn't lead. Richard Petty was on the pole. He had trouble at the beginning of the race. And I think it was Kel Yarborough that took over the lead. Him and Bobby Allison and Marvin Panch and Junior Johnson, I believe it was. They swapped back and forth and got down to the end of the race, and Turner was close to the field. He could run with any of them. He drive up on them, pace them, and go on. And of course, at that time I pulled for Turner because I had met him down at Darlington in '56.
So it was neat for him to win when you were pulling for him.
Right.
Yeah, I bet that was.
And after the race, I did go down in the pits. I met him again. But that was the way I went to the first American 500.
That's a pretty big deal. Well, of course, we invite you to read Howard Richardson's stories on RichmondObserver.com. And remember, you can get the book My Life Retold, Amazon.com, and a really neat collection of stories. And of course, one other thing I almost forgot to mention, that tomorrow you'll be able to read an exclusive piece in honor and celebration of Veterans Day from Howard Richardson. Check it out on RichmondObserver.com tomorrow morning. And of course, we're blessed to have you in studio today.
Well, thank you. And this one that I read, one you will be publishing tomorrow, is Seeing the World with the U.S. Army.
And that will be neat, especially in honor of Veterans Day.
That is in honor of Veterans Day, and it is a true story.
Fantastic. Well, look for it tomorrow, RichmondObserver.com and on the RO app. And of course, glad to have Mr. Howard Richardson in studio, and we appreciate your service to the country.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Folks, one last thing. I think you've got something you want to read.
I got one thing that I want to read to, honor the veterans that served during any time in the American military. Standing in front of the mist and dirty, they did not tremble. Legion of their families, they did not make them fall. For our country they stood, so that we may have comfort in our sleep, remember in our hearts, and in those tears shed, that these heroes fought to keep our lives lit ahead in honor of all veterans on Veterans Day.
Fantastic. Mr. Howard Richardson, thanks for reading that for us.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you being in studio. Folks, check his piece out tomorrow on RichmondObserver.com and get his book, My Life Retold, on Amazon.com. Folks, when we return, I'll turn it back over to Sarah Beth and Sierra. They're bringing you more news, weather, and sports right after this.
McNair Auto Sales is the place to buy your pre-owned car, truck, or van. To be the best, it takes big selection, friendly staff, and great pricing. We guarantee a no-hassle buying experience, and financing is available right on site. So come see us today. We're located at 1026 East Broad Avenue in Rockingham. And remember, with over 40 years of experience, you know McNair is the name you can trust.
Welcome back to Live at 5. I'm Kelsey Roshan, your head weather broadcaster, and today's 3-day weather forecast is brought by Willow Tree Antiques and Gifts. It's also been another dreary day, as it has been a couple days. It's pretty much skipped fall, went on to winter, but let's move on to the 3-day weather forecast, which is still going to be fairly cold. Friday will a high of 60 with sunny skies and a low of 28, which is below freezing that evening. Saturday will a high of 51, so expect to enjoy the Veterans Parade with that weather, because I know I will, and a low of 32, also below freezing that evening as well. Sunday we'll have a high of 56 with intervals of clouds and sun in the morning, with some clouds later in the day, and a low of 41 with cloudy skies the rest of that evening. Other than that, let's move on to the rest of your news.
Thank you, Kelsey. With the weight of the North Carolina 4AA state playoffs lingering over Richmond County this week, sports contributor Dion Cranford offers an exclusive look into the Raiders' playoff history. Cranford also explains the current playoff system and how it affected Richmond Senior High School's number 8 ranking in the 2017 playoffs. Make sure you read Cranford's full article at richmondobserver.com.
Friday night at Raider Stadium, they are set to host the North Mecklenburg High School Vikings from Huntersville. Richmond earned an automatic bid into the state 4AA playoffs following its second-place finish in the SAC Conference this season. Now, with the final bracket set, the Raiders have found themselves go from an initial 5 seed in the East bracket to a final placement as number 8 seed in the West bracket against North Mecklenburg. Coach Brian Till has been adamant all season about Raiders fans filling the seats on Friday nights so that his players can feed off that momentum and energy. Friday night, kickoff at 7:30. Bring that energy and bring that momentum, as this is the biggest stage this season.
Local student Chris Terry uses his STEM experience to earn acceptance to North Carolina A&T. Terry is a senior at Richmond Senior High School who is also participating in dual enrollment classes in conjunction with RCC. In 7th grade, Terry signed up for the brand new STEM program at Rockingham Middle School and stuck with it ever since. Terry's craving for information was never satisfied, so once a month since 7th grade year, he has continued to work closely with Epps and Osborne through the Great Academy. Congratulations, Chris Terry, on your acceptance, and best of luck to you at NC A&T. We sure do have a community that truly supports everyone, and that's just awesome.
I know, it is awesome. Like ever since 7th grade, he got support through STEM, and now he's going off to college.
Yeah, awesome. Making Richmond County proud.
Exactly. Well, speaking of support, the community really is gathering together to support veterans on Saturday.
Yeah,
for the
that's awesome.
Veterans
Day Parade.
That'll be
awesome. Where is it kicking off?
It's kicking off in front of the old courthouse
in
downtown Rockingham. And then the parade actually starts at 3. So it's like a full day of events, which is pretty nice.
That's awesome. It is going to be sunny on Saturday, but it's still going to be cold, so layer up.
Yes. So you can enjoy it.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
Live music at the VFW starting at 8 o'clock. Unsung is going to be there. So it's going to be a really good time. So
I know.
Make sure
I'm excited.
You get out and support our veterans, you know.
Definitely.
That's the reason we have our freedom, y'all.
Exactly. Without them, we wouldn't be too far, would we?
That's right. We will see y'all tomorrow.